Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This stunning gentleman next to me, his name is Tim, and this is The Second Legacy, and thank you for stopping by. Today, for this Friday, we're going to send you into the weekend with a mixed match of greatness and some comedy and a little bit of concern. I'm going to be honest. It's all over the place today. We got some Jim Jordan with a third vote that just got destroyed. We've got Gavin Newsom having a hair gel meltdown about the AR ban being overruled by Roger T. Benitez. And then we have some weird things that are happening with safes and body armor. And I can't wait to hear what you guys think. Leave a comment right there, right down there. And of course, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn the notification bell on. All right, Tim, we almost lost the intro. We almost lost it, but we brought it back.
It was close. You're right there.
We were
on
the bumpy parts of the road, but we're back.
Yeah, the ripple strip. Yep.
Rumble
Nailed
strip.
It. Ripple strip. Rumble strip.
So,
Railroad. That's all, folks.
No. That was you in the outro the other day. But let's not get off topic. Let's not make this about me.
Let's not make it about you. Let's make it about me.
Let's make it about you. So we got some situations here, Tim.
We do.
How are you? Are you ready for these situations?
Oh, absolutely. Anytime hair gel gets into the conversation, you know it's going to be a fun conversation.
You know it. And this tweet,
the hair gel is here.
It's arrived and it's thick because as you know, Tim, or you may not know, people of The Second Legacy, Gavin Newsom is on his way to Israel to show unity with Israel. Why is a sitting state governor doing that?
Maybe he wants to run.
Almost like he wants presidential worldwide notoriety and images. Anyway, bypassing that, he did take time to send a very, very mean tweet to Roger T. Benitez. You guys are going to love this. This is from Gavin Newsom, the hair gel monster himself. Today, a right-wing NRA puppet, Judge Roger Benitez, tried to strip away California's 3-decade-old assault weapon ban, comparing an assault rifle to a knife. Hey, remember that when we were talking about this yesterday, Tim? Didn't we call he was going to be upset about the knife thing?
Yes, he was.
We did.
He was.
That's right, and he was. He does not like that. He doesn't like it at all. Well, he says it's an absolute disgrace, which is irony because it was amazing poetic beauty justice. But this is exactly why America needs a constitutional amendment to enshrine common sense gun safety reforms. So a little plug for his own 28th Amendment, which no one cares about. And then finally, to wrap it up, until then, extremist judges will continue to tear down the will of the American people. What American people is he talking about, Tim? Because I'm pretty sure it's not all of them.
He's on our side and has been all along, you idiot. But this is also the guy that presides over one of the most corrupt and most tyrannical states that just tramples citizens' rights left and right.
Oh, yeah.
This guy heads up that state, and he has the audacity to go out there and say California is the freest state in the country. I mean, these people are truly delusional, and I love the fact that he calls this judge a right-wing NRA puppet based on what evidence?
Yeah, I mean, the evidence was clear to him. He disagreed with the Newsom, with the Gavster.
Right.
We know that's why he's an extremist, because he disagrees with Gavin.
You right-wing radical that believes in freedom. How dare you, sir?
Yep. Good day, sir. You know, that brings up an interesting point, Tim. This is one of the things I love about musing with you.
Yes.
You know, he goes down the road of, it's been 3 decades since this has been a part of our common culture. How dare he overturn this?
Don't you love
Can
that?
you think of any other really, really bad things in American history alone that were long in place for 10 decades?
For decades,
centuries that were overturned and overridden because they were wrong. Can you think of anything? I don't know.
Using his logic, perhaps people would still be able to own other people.
Oh,
if you use his logic.
Too close to home, Tim. Too close to home. You're not wrong.
Yeah, right. Well, we've had this unconstitutional law for 3 decades. Dang it! How dare you, sir, take that away from us? it is. Well,
history action there. It was the Colonel Sanders of the world who did it, but also civil rights movement. Oh, that was an interesting one. Remember that whole, you have to pay a poll tax, and you have to be a landowner, and you have to look this certain way, and you have to be this certain age to have a voting say. Remember all that? Yeah, that was run by Southern
for 20
Democrats.
Years, sir.
Yeah, Southern Democrats. Southern Democrats, Tim. But they don't say that because after all, that's progress. But if you go down the gun control road, how dare you break well-known tradition in California? Like, maybe you were just breaking the rules the whole time.
Maybe he's trying to play into the whole Bruin logic, traditions and history.
Ooh,
we have a tradition and history here of oppression. How dare you challenge that history of oppression?
That's true.
It's well established.
It's part of the everyday nomenclature in California. Well, boo, and I mean this gently, we're not all California, and we don't want to be. So speak for yourself. Anyway.
And just like Illinois with the whole concealed carry thing, the last state to fall, drug kicking and screaming through the courts, fighting against the citizens' rights. That's what California is going to be doing as well. Gavin Newsom's going to out there making a rear end out of himself on social media as we drag him kicking and screaming through the courts to liberate the citizens of California and other states where these wild Marxists reign.
Exactly. I find it so amazing that the people who are infringing upon the rights of citizens are cloaking themselves in constitutionality. It's just, it's so disgusting. But hey, speaking of cloaking, Tim, man, that was a transition. The cloakroom at the House right now. How about that? That's a cluster, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Jim Jordan.
You know, if you're going to go out and oust a speaker, perhaps you might want to have a plan.
Maybe. I'm not saying I was for the Rhino McCarthy hanging out, being rhino-y. But I would kind of like maybe like hey, here's our idea when we do this.
I mean, leading up to it, he was threatening to oust McCarthy. And they're like, well, who are you going to propose? I mean, what would you do if you do oust him? He had no plan then.
Matt Gaetz, yeah.
It's just, I want him out. And so now he's out. Now the Democrats are, I mean, if you get on social media, I mean, keep in mind, we're just a handful of votes here, folks. All they got to do is get 4 or 5 squishy Republicans to go along with the Jeffries nomination, and he'll become speaker.
I don't think they will. I honestly don't think that they will. There's
I don't trust them. We had
There's
20.
No way.
We had 20 Republicans, not back Gaetz on the first vote.
No,
then
Gordon,
22.
No, not back in Jordan.
Jordan, not Gaetz.
Yep.
And then what was the last vote we just had today? 25?
So 25. Yeah, I just finished the live stream on my
vote,
channel.
He loses more support.
Yep. He's losing more support. So this is where it gets interesting because I was doing the live stream on my channel and I've got a lot of the data that just came in because I was watching. Like I said, I watched this happen in real time. This was some interesting stuff here, Tim. So did you happen to watch it? Did you watch any of it?
No.
Okay. So there's a few things I want to hit and get your take on because here I'll kind of say what happened and I'll show you my take and then you can bounce it off on me. So the first thing, do you know how the prior 2 votes, the first and the second vote, were all about the nominees for the speakership of the House? It was all about talking about them and how great they were. Like, for example, the Democrats were like drooling over Jeffries and the Republicans were trying to get Jim Jordan across the finish line. You know how they were doing that, right? Like Elise Stefanik did it twice and then they did it. Well, today, dude, McCarthy came out and to his credit, I don't like his policies. I don't like he's a rhino, but to his credit, he had a class move today, and he came out and gave the speech nominating Jim Jordan for the speakership, and he went hard against the Democrats. Bro, he was calling them out by name for actually specific actions, which was, to me, pivotal for 2 reasons. One, he's one of the people that the holdouts want to be the speaker. He just nominated Jim Jordan. And the second thing, he made it about party politics. That was a big thing, because when the Democrat came up, she did the exact same thing. It was very interesting because it shifted from individual focus to Democrat policy focus. The conservative or McCarthy went with, or excuse me, the Republican McCarthy went with things like border security and fentanyl and the idea that the Democrats don't have any answers at all. And the Democrats went down the same old road of abortion stuff.
They're going to take your Social Security and
MAGA, Social Security, healthcare. They went all the talking points.
Yeah.
Right, exactly right. So the interesting part about this is they went after the talking points of the party. That's a shift. So what do you make of that? I'll tell you my idea in a second, but what do you make of that little nougat?
That I'm not sure what to make of that one. What's your take on it?
So my take on that is they are now shifting away from making it the sound bites and dog and pony show all about their speaker. Now they're going down the road of putting pressure on all the different nominees to make it a party versus party thing versus a Jordan versus Jeffries thing. They're broadening the scope of pressure. That's what I think that just happened.
Here's what I'm having a hard time understanding. So, correct me if I'm wrong, but Jordan was the right-hand man of McCarthy. Those two were pretty close, right? I mean, they worked together, and for the most part, people that supported McCarthy also supported Jordan, right? Mostly. But then we get to the shakeup. McCarthy's still showing support for Jordan. Has been very cordial to him, nominated him. Worked very closely with him when he was the speaker. But now you have all these defectors that just absolutely want nothing to do with Jim Jordan. Why is that?
So do you? So I have an idea of it. The people, I've seen the list. The people specifically who are the ones who are going against it are the Republicans who are quite literally I'm okay with infringing on the Second Amendment. I'm okay with compromise right in the middle. I'm okay with the status quo.
The squishy ones I'm worried about might make a deal with the left and get Jeffries in.
They're the establishment. But here's the thing, and this is why I think that's a long shot.
Or it is a long shot. I do
100%,
think it's a very long shot.
100%. Yeah. The establishment cares about one thing, and that's self-preservation. That's what they all do. They're politicians. It's all about self-preservation. What I believe is happening right now is the establishment doesn't want to cede power to the conservative wing of the Republican Party, so they're digging in their heels. They would rather nothing happen than something happen with Jim Jordan. Now, this is the other wrinkle here. They floated the idea yesterday after the second vote failed. They floated the idea of making the temporary speaker a longer-term temporary speaker until January. Now, to me, the way that I see that, that's an escape valve that they want to put pressure off themselves, but still get business done as they wanted. They wanted to have their votes that are bought by lobbyists. They wanted to have their committee assignments. They wanted to have the clips for re-election. That's what I think that's about, and it got shot down hard this morning.
Yeah, Chip Roy railed against that one.
So did Byron Donalds, a lot of them.
Yeah, there's no precedent for that.
And no
what
support
they're trying
for it
to
either.
do is it's like, what? Where did you get this idea? It just seems like Congress has run amok. It seems like a lot of our elected leaders have run amok. They go off and do things like, you know what? I'm just going to forgive all student loan debt. The Supreme Court goes, you can't do that. We'll just do it this way then.
We'll do it anyway.
We'll just do it anyway. I just cannot believe how our government is just seemingly coming apart at the wheels. And
see, but I think that's such a pivotal point about what we're discussing. I think you are absolutely right. But do you know why I think it's coming across off the wheels in every direction over the last 20 or 30 years? Because Congress has abdicated all responsibility from themselves to others because they couldn't agree and they wanted to get reelected. For example,
things like the omnibus bill.
Just like the omnibus bill. Look at the executive bureaucracies. They handed and ceded all the power of interpretation to the executive bureaucracies so that Congress didn't have to make tough votes. Chevron deference, that's exactly what that was. Look where that's left us. Look what the ATF has done with that, the CDC, all of them.
Yeah,
when you look at what they've done, they've abdicated their responsibility because they don't want the responsibility because there'll be consequences. They're looking to do the exact same thing with this temporary speaker situation, which they just floated, and it got shut down hard. It's not even going to get to the floor from what I've read. But that's what this is about. That's why I think it's bigger than just, I don't like Jim Jordan. I think this is about the power structure.
Oh, yeah, there's definitely something going on behind the scenes here.
Yep.
And what's weird is how he keeps losing support with each vote. I don't understand the dynamic behind that either. So it's just kind of weird. But I don't know where this ends. I mean, it doesn't look like he has a pathway to the speakership. So they're going to have to come up with something. Yep. Well, and that's what concerns me about these squishy Republicans.
Yeah.
They're going to feel like if the Democrats play their cards right, they can put these squishy Republicans in a very bad position. Get concessions.
I just don't think they do it. I think that their reason for not doing or voting for Jim Jordan is because they don't want their constituents to vote them out, so they're going to vote for a Democrat to make it even worse. I just don't think that they would ever do that. But I understand the concern. It's a very valid concern because things are up in the air, but I just don't think that would ever happen.
But the fact that they won't vote for Jordan and they continue this standoff,
I think it's a game.
Cannot look good to them, to their constituents.
No, I think it's a pressure building campaign right now. That whole temporary speaker thing for longer term, that's a pressure relief they were seeking because they're feeling pressure. I think this is going to continue to be a pressure cooker until either Jim Jordan folds or they fold. I think that's the way that this is going to shake out. This is political gamemanship at its height because the Republicans don't usually do this that much. Usually they don't. But this is interesting. I think this is interesting as can be myself.
Yeah, well, it'll be interesting to see how this one plays out.
Yeah, because
hopefully we'll get a speaker at some point because the world's literally on fire and Congress is sitting around with their thumbs in their keister, playing games, political games.
But that's the thing, though. That's what they're using. That's why this is so fascinating. They're using all the fire set around the world by weak American leadership to install a temporary speaker to get around the problem so they don't have to make a hard decision. The pressure is building and building and building, and I think this weekend you're going to see a lot of interesting things happen on it. But
we'll find out come Monday, won't we?
No, I think it's going to be before Monday. I think
I'm saying we'll have something to talk about. We're going to have something to talk about Monday.
Oh, God, yeah, we'll have a lot to talk about. Please. Speaking of things to talk about, Tim, man, the transition setups, man, you are so good. Segue. What's going on here, Tim? We've got reports coming out of gun safes failing. We've got reports coming out of bulletproof vests and all this kind of stuff failing, passing. What is going on here, dude? Like, the first one we can hit on, Mr. Producer, this is the 61,000 gun safes. 61,000 gun safes have been recalled after a shooting death of a 12-year-old because the gun safe failed. Okay, what?
Yeah. I'm not even familiar with that story, but 61,000, they're biometric safes, correct?
Oh, yeah, 100%. And then, in fact, here's some more details on it. Sorry to cut you off. Let me tell you some more. So, Fortress Safe recalled around 61,000 biometric gun safes following the shooting death of a 12-year-old boy, the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission announced Thursday. The biometric lock on gun safes can be opened by unauthorized users, posing a serious injury hazard and risk of death, the commission wrote in a statement. Well, that's a problem.
Yeah. Is that even regulated, though? So, I mean, look, the biometric safes, you can get on Amazon and buy one for $59. How good are they? Well, you typically get what you pay for, right?
Yeah,
so
that's true.
These biometric safes, I've played with them in the past. I have one now, and they almost always fail when you don't want them to.
I don't like them myself, personally.
They're really, really problematic. You know, I always wind up going back to the big key safes where you have the little finger cutouts.
Touching dots. Yep.
Yeah, so you can kind of feel the buttons. So these safes are, there's really, cruddy ones out there. There's really good ones out there. I don't know where this product falls, but 61,000 of them being recalled, I don't know, kind of smacks of an Amazon sale. Yeah. I don't know.
Well, but that's the interesting thing. The place where these are sold, this isn't just Amazon sales. So this is sold by places like Dick's Sporting Goods. They're sold through Amazon. They're Lowe's. They're like, these are mainline consumer brand.
Fortress Safe. Okay, so there's a name, yes. So I have heard the name Fortress Safes. I've seen it in big box stores.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's the point. They're in big box stores. So this is fully saturated the market. This is not a Chinese knockoff brand. Now, here's what they said happened, and this just boggles my mind. The commission said consumers can falsely believe they properly set the biometric lock function, but instead it is in default to open mode. This allows users, including children, to access the safe. Now, so if this is not a case of teach your children, if this is not a case of take extra steps and precautions where they still can't get it, I don't know what is, dude. Like, I mean, to fully trust a safe or some other solution not to be a failing point and leave it in a general area of access, that you got to have backups on backups on backups, man.
Yeah, especially when you're dealing with children.
100%.
If you have adults in the house, that's one thing. When you have kids that are curious, you really have to be careful. I just hope that this doesn't open some sort of a doorway to a portal where they're going to use this type of stuff to
legislate something.
Legislate something, safe storage laws, and then mandating what safe you can buy, what safe you can't buy, regulate the safes, what locks they can have, what locks they can't have to meet U.S. law. I could see this getting into a really, really ugly area very quickly.
Yeah, I can too. But I'll be honest with you, the big counter to that is you have the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission, which just did what they were supposed to do. So it's like, why do you need a new law? Like, you just
pointing out flaws and doing recalls is what should happen.
Go team. Absolutely,
right?
Go team.
I mean, that's the way the system's supposed to work. Notify the consumers and let them, get fixed products or exchange your products or get a refund. But what I don't want to see is legislation.
Right. No, exactly. Well, don't worry, Tim. Right now, you're not going to get any. So,
all right. Well, let's move on.
Let's just keep on trucking. So the second piece here was the safes. I mean, not the safes, the bulletproof vest, right? You sent me this.
Yeah. So this one is kind of interesting because so recently, you've probably seen folks in social media, myself included. I use RMA armor. I've been testing that armor for a long time. I've used it in ballistics tests, so much so that I actually use the plates. Jason uses the plates. And then we got notification on social media one day that their NIJ certification on one of the most popular plates had been pulled. And so we went out there like, okay, well, I took the plate that I had in my vest. I took it out and I thought, you know what? Let's hit it with some AP ammo. Let's hit it with some M855A1. Yeah, let's see, because I'm not going to wear this plate now that there's this letter out there saying that it's not safe. Well, guess what passed? Buffman Range, a whole bunch of other people went out there, did videos too with their RMA plates because they were curious as well. Yep. So there's all of a sudden this flurry of RMA plate videos hit the internet, and I hadn't seen one fail yet. And now they all held up. They all held up.
Okay.
And so then we get into this letter, which is shot stop, and this letter goes out. It says the Homeland Security investigation in conjunction with the Ohio Bureau of Criminal Investigations. They're releasing a statement saying that there's a lot of agencies out there that are using these shot stop plates and they've lost their certification. They're failing, but it doesn't really give you any evidence of the failing. That's what happened with the RMA plates. There's a big controversy around it. Mr. Guns and Gear has a great video about it, talking about the kind of weird behavior. The NIJ isn't being fully forthcoming. They're not supplying the evidence they're supposed to supply. They're just knocking down these people's certifications. In the case of RMA, it's an affordable budget line that citizens buy for their own protection. Keep in mind, this very same government our government wants to take away your right to even wear passive protection, like body armor.
Right.
They don't just want to take your guns away. They want to take away your ability to even passively protect yourself with body armor. This is where the conspiracy theory comes in. Potentially. Is this a play to like undermine confidence in affordable armor? Is this a play to maybe move on armor for civilians in some way politically? It just seems weird to me that all of a sudden these decertification letters are going out.
Right.
What's your take?
And I mean, so my take on this, it can be a couple of things. Like my first jump is not to go conspiratorial. You know that. Like my first jump is like they either change
I love conspiracies, aliens.
But who doesn't? Bigfoot. But they either change the NIJ certification, which, by the way, the certification that we're talking about is what they rate the bulletproof vest on. Like, I don't remember all the levels, but it's 1, 2, and 3 for actual.
No, there's various levels. There's 1, 2, 3, 3A, 4.
3A, yeah. So I mean, like, there's lots of different levels for different levels of penetration. I'm such a child.
Move along.
Quack. Don't man, that was a good one.
Don't say pickle. Okay.
Oh yeah. So I mean, yeah. So you either have the thing. Shut up, man. You either have the letter that changed out and something changed on the back end, or the.
Oh my goodness.
Oh Lord. So they either change the letter on the logistics of how this works, or there's some sort of shenanigans, which can be conspiratorial, or on the other side, you just have some bad batches that got through and the testing went awry. I mean, like I have in my personal experience, I've had a lot of companies. I've talked to a bunch of people. I'm just in the recent 6 months where that has come up a lot more. I can tell you that. I have heard that a lot more than I have in the prior 6 months. That's a fair assessment.
Well, I think maybe I should put on some tinfoil.
Shocking.
Yeah. You ever watch the Y-Files right here on YouTube? It's an outstanding show. And they were talking about those sounds, like the trumpets blaring and machine sounds and stuff like that. They said that even people that are technically deaf can hear these sounds, but only like 4% of the people can hear them. But they said of those 4%, even the deaf people, if they put tinfoil hats on, it blocks the sound.
So it's a subliminal, it's an auditory blast sent through sound waves or microwaves?
Who knows? The whole point is it works, man. The tinfoil hat stuff really works.
That's the whole point. That's
Alex
the plane
Jones
you wanted
would be
to land.
so happy to hear. Yes.
That's the plane you wanted to land. God almighty. This is the point. This is the point. We feel it. We're back on the ripples right here on the road. So, we started out.
With all that being said, hopefully you guys enjoy a good conspiracy theory. I know I certainly do. Thanks for watching. Comment down below wrong answers only about the conspiracy theory and what your take is. We'll talk to you guys soon.